Today we are going back 20 years to WWE Smackdown vs. Raw on the PlayStation 2 to take a look at the Smackdown roster. Occupying 20 slots of the total 53 playable superstars on the game, the Smackdown brand boasts some of WWE's biggest stars at the time in 2004. Let's take a look at how the roster looked, starting with the lower mid-carders that you could choose to play as on the Smackdown brand. First up, we've got Scotty 2 Hotty, who makes his third WWE main series appearance, his first appearance being in WWF Smackdown Know Your Role. He arrives with a 76 overall in the light heavyweight division. Scotty is without his two cool teammates, of course, as Grandmaster Sexay was out of the company in 2001, and Rikishi, who was WWE Tag Team Champion with Scotty the same year this game came out, was out of the company before the game's release. Scotty is equipped with both a DDT and his signature worm as his finishing moves, which is always fun to hit. Next up, we've got Chavo Guerrero. Chavo makes his second appearance in the main game series after his debut in Smackdown Here Comes the Pain. Chavo arrives with a respectable 81 overall, but I do think considering he was Cruiserweight Champion in 2004, maybe an 82 or an 83 overall would probably have been a better choice. Chavo, like Scotty 2 Hotty, is also classed as a light heavyweight and is equipped with the train wreck and his signature Gory Bomb as his finishing moves. Now both Scotty 2 Hotty and Chavo Guerrero are on one end of the weight scale on SmackDown roster. Let's now look at some of the heavier lower mid-carders on the blue brand. We start with Mark Jindrak, who I might say is possibly one of the funnest characters to play as on this game, I'm not even lying. Despite having a relatively short and underwhelming run in WWE, the former WCW Tag Team Champion Mark Jindrak did make two main game series appearances, starting with this one in SmackDown vs. Raw and again in SmackDown vs. Raw 2006. Jindrak is 78 rated, which I think is probably about right. He was getting a little bit of a push in 2004, so 78 is probably not far off. He is equipped with a flying clothesline and his mark of excellence as his finishing moves, which are some of the funnest moves to hit in the game. Another heavyweight making their main game series appearance is Rene Dupree. Dupree in 2004 had just joined the SmackDown brand following his tag team run as La Resistance on Raw in 2003. At this time, Rene had a feud with John Cena over the United States Championship and was receiving somewhat of a push on SmackDown. You can tell that this was the case via the game's season mode, where depending on who you pick to play as, Rene features quite heavily at the start of the season as he is the jealous boyfriend of Tori Wilson. Rene was given an 83 overall rating, which I think is pretty generous, I might say. I think it is definitely reflective of his push in real life. Rene is equipped with the Death Valley driver and his signature Dupree bomb. Next up, let's take a look at one of two different tag teams you could play as on SmackDown, and that is Charlie Haas and Rico. Charlie Haas makes his second appearance in the main series, with his first being in SmackDown Here Comes the Pain as the tag team partner of Shelton Benjamin. Rico, on the other hand, makes his third but final appearance in the series and in WWE games in general after his appearances in SmackDown Shut Your Mouth and Here Comes the Pain. Charlie was awarded with the higher rating of the two superstars, which I do think is fair, with Haas coming out at an 81 and Rico with a close but lower rating of 79. Rico is equipped with a roundhouse dropkick and his impactful Rico spinning kick, whereas Haas is equipped with a devastating German suplex and his signature Haas of Pain submission. The other tag team on the SmackDown brand are much more well established, and they are the legendary Dudley Boys. Bubba Ray and Devon both make their sixth appearance in the main series, with their first appearance being way back in WWF Smackdown on the PlayStation 1. Now, I was quite shocked to see that Bubba and Devon were rated just 79 overall. I do think that is a little bit unfair, considering they were prominently featured on WWE television in 2004 and as tag team champions, feuding with The Undertaker at one point. Considering Rico was rated 79, I do think the Dudleys should have at least been rated 81. Anyways though, Devon is equipped with a neckbreaker and his saving grace as his finishing moves, and Bubba is equipped with both his signature Bubba Bomb and the Bubba Cutter. Now, before we move on to the mid-card and the main event portion of the SmackDown roster, let's take a look at the two female members of the Blue brand, starting with Sable. Sable makes her second appearance in the main series, with her debut being in the previous title, Smackdown Here Comes the Pain. This game shows just how far women's wrestling has come, as the highest rated female superstar on the game is actually only rated 60 overall. Sable in particular comes in at 55 overall, which out of all of the women's ratings is probably the most accurate. At this point in her career, Sable rarely competed in the ring, and if she did, it was often a bikini contest of some variation. She is, however, equipped with her Sable Powerbomb and the women's Special Slap, which is an incredible finisher name, I might say. The other female of the SmackDown roster is Tori Wilson. Tori drops in at 54 overall, which again is criminally low, as are all the women's wrestlers in this game, but I think it's even more of an insult her being rated less than Sable, considering Tori had wrestled a ton more matches than Sable around this time. This game marks Tori's third appearance in the main series, with her first appearance being back in Smackdown Shut Your Mouth. Tori is equipped with two DDT variations, which are number 19 and number 5. Now we've looked at the undercard, the tag teams and the women's wrestlers, now it's time to see how the mid-card shaped up on SmackDown at this point. First up, we have Hardcore Holly. Holly's appearance in this game marks his 5th overall in the main series, making his debut on the original WWF SmackDown game. 2004 was probably one of Hardcore Holly's most notable years in WWE. He had a bit of a push in early 2004, actually facing Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble, which was the result of a year of inactivity following Lesnar legitimately breaking Holly's neck. He is rated 79, which is maybe a little lower than he should be, but probably not by much. Holly is of course equipped with his signature Alabama Slam and the full Nelson as his finishing moves. Next up, we have Mr. Monday Night himself, Rob Van Dam. At this point, he is of course on the SmackDown roster, as he joined the brand in March of 2004. Van Dam would pick up the WWE Tag Team titles with Rey Mysterio in late 2004, but at the point of which this roster is based on, Van Dam was in the United States Championship division, therefore not appearing as a preset tag team in the game with Rey Mysterio. Van Dam makes his third appearance in the main series, with his debut being back in SmackDown Shut Your Mouth. Van Dam is rated an 86 overall, which I think is pretty fair, to be honest. One of the only ratings that the game has got pretty spot on so far. As he often is, Van Dam is one of the most fun characters to play as on this game, and is of course equipped with the 5-star Frog Splash as his finishing move. Next we have Van Dam's aforementioned tag team partner, the legendary luchador himself, Rey Mysterio. I have to say a quick shout out to this iconic attire that Rey has in this game. I think it's probably one of the best in his long list of WWE game appearances. Like Van Dam, Mysterio is also very fun to play as. Mysterio makes only his second appearance in the main series, with the first being his debut in Smackdown Here Comes the Pain. Mysterio is rated 84, which is probably fair at this point. This is around 2 years prior to his world title run, so he's not quite at that main event status at this point. Mysterio, of course, is equipped with his 619 finishing move. Next, we go dramatically from the Cruiserweight division all the way up to the Super Heavyweights, as we welcome the Big Show to the SmackDown roster. SmackDown vs. Raw marks Big Show's 5th appearance in the main series, with his debut being back in WWF SmackDown. Like Rey Mysterio, Big Show is also designated an 84 overall, which is probably fair, I would say. He did have a run with the United States Championship from late 2003 to WrestleMania 20, where he lost the title to John Cena. Big Show is not only equipped with the Showstopper as his finishing move, which was his version of the Chokeslam, he also had the Final Cut, which was a finishing move he was using quite frequently around this time. Next up, we have the Shucky Ducky Quack Quack Man himself, the legendary Booker T. Booker had a pretty decent year in 2004, joining SmackDown after WrestleMania, turning heel shortly after, claiming that SmackDown was the minor leagues. Booker had a memorable feud with John Cena in the summer, which culminated in a best-of-5 series for the United States Championship. Booker is rated 83 overall, which I think is a little bit unfair. I'd say if Van Dam was an 86, then Booker should be about the same, or at least an 85, considering he was United States champion in this year. Booker is equipped with the Booker T Special, which is of course the scissors kick. I'm not sure why it's not called that, and also his signature bookend. Lastly, in the bordering between mid-card and main eventers, we have the Doctor of Thugonomics, John Cena. Calling John Cena a mid-carder is maybe a little bit harsh, but at the time of the game's release, John was not quite at main event status yet, but he was certainly on his way there in the late months of 2004. Cena makes his second appearance in the main series, with his first being back on Here Comes the Pain. Cena sits with a massive 89 rating, which is probably about right realistically. Cena would reach 90 rated just a year later in the 2006 title, and would stay in the 90s all the way up to WWE 2K19, where he would drop to 89 once again. Cena is equipped with the FU, and there are actually two different versions of the move that you can hit in the game. Now it's time to get into the true main eventers of the Smackdown brand at the time, and what better way than to kick it off with Latino Heat, Eddie Guerrero. Eddie undoubtedly had the greatest year of his WWE career in 2004, of course beating Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship at No Way Out, and having a classic title defense against Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 20. Despite his successful year, Eddie is actually rated less than John Cena, sitting at 88 overall, which is quite mind-boggling to be honest, considering 2004 was such a great year for Eddie. He does make his fifth appearance in the main series, with his first being in WWF SmackDown 2 Know Your Role, and is equipped with both the Frog Splash and the Lasso from El Paso as his finishing moves. Next up, we have one of Eddie's biggest rivals in 2004, the man he lost the WWE Championship to, and that is J.B. Layfield. Now, despite his status as WWE Champion in 2004, Bradshaw is rated just 84, which is quite shocking, but also understandable as JBL didn't win the WWE Championship until July, which may just have been after the cut-off point for the game's roster. If the game was released slightly later, or if he won the title earlier in the year, we might have just seen a higher rating for the wealthy Texan. JBL makes his fifth appearance in the main series, with his first being on WWF SmackDown. He is equipped with a powerbomb and one of the most enjoyable moves to land in the game, the clothesline from hell. The penultimate member of the SmackDown roster is the joint highest rated superstar in the game, alongside Triple H and The Rock, and that is the Olympic gold medalist himself, Kurt Angle, who sits at 94 overall. Now, you may be surprised to know that this wouldn't even be Angle's highest rating in the main series. He'd actually been 95 in both SVR 2006 and SVR 2007. Now, his rating on this game might be a little bit high. He did have a fantastic 2003 and early 2004, but from March until August, Angle was actually inactive due to neck surgery and was the on-screen general manager of SmackDown. I'm not sure if it's fair to lower his rating due to injury, but I guess the recent in-ring work should be considered when deciding on a superstar's rating. Angle makes his fifth appearance in the main series, with his first being in Know Your Role, and is of course equipped with his Angle Lock submission and the Angle Slam as his finishing moves. Last to arrive in the SmackDown roster is the Phenom himself, the veteran and leader of the locker room, The Undertaker. Taker is undoubtedly the locker room leader at this point, and a certified main event talent where he has sat for many years at this point. Taker is rated 93 overall, just missing out on being joint highest rated with Angle, Triple H and The Rock. This is Undertaker's sixth appearance in the main series, with his first being back in WWF SmackDown. This is also Taker's return as the Deadman, having been the American Badass across the previous 4 titles, from SmackDown Know Your Role all the way to Here Comes the Pain. Taker's rating would drop down to 89 by the time SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 dropped, but he would skyrocket to a record 98 overall in SmackDown vs. Raw 2008. To round off the final batch of moves, Taker is equipped with his iconic Tombstone Piledriver and his devastating Last Ride as his finishing moves. And that wraps up the SmackDown roster on the original SmackDown vs. Raw. What do you think about the overall ratings for the Blue brand, and what are your memories of playing this classic WWE game? Let me know in the comments. If you want to see how the Raw roster looked at this time, then please drop a like on this video, and we'll have the red brand on the way very soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.